due to the overwhelming number of responses I got to pictures I've posted about this garden trowel that I forged. Oh, by the way, that's none. I thought I'd just shoot a video making another one, because I made this one as a trade item and I quickly got, well, where's mine? I'm sure that you guys get that all the time. Now, I did forge yesterday, I think it was, a companion to this. No, it was the day before yesterday, in a rake. That is 4 pieces of 1/4-inch rod, 16 inches, is that right? No. "26 inches long, yeah." And I did end up cutting about 1 inch off of each one of those. So it could be 25-inch pieces of rod. But for this here, I'm going to start out with a 12-inch piece. If you've ever watched Mark Asprey make his basket twist handle that he puts on different things, he starts out with 2 12-inch pieces, bends them in half, slides them together, and then welds them from slides them together end to end. They kind of hold themselves together like 2 hairpins, and it's real easy to hold them in the fire and get them welded up that way. I will do something like that with just a slight modification. I want about a 1-inch circle on the end, so I'm adding about 3 inches to the length of one of them with that 12 to get that, and then 2 1-inch pieces to stick down past here. So I've got a 12-inch and a 17-inch piece of 1/4-inch rod. Those of you in weird places that don't use quarters and halves can figure that out on your own. I marked out, what I did was I took a piece of newspaper, and at one of the folds I just cut this shape out and then unfolded it, marked it on there, cut it out with a hacksaw, and I put a chisel mark right here at the middle so that I'd be able to line up when I go to forge weld this on. Hopefully. So we'll get started on that. How about that? First thing to do is to fold these 2 pieces of rod in half. Get that out of your way. How about that? And we'll straighten this. We'll straighten this hoop out after we get done forge welding it. And that's good enough for that. Let's see, we can straighten that hoop out after we get it welded together. Now here's the only difference to what Mark Asprey did with his little basket twist handle. I'm putting just a little bit of a taper on this one here, on the short one. And after I get this together, hopefully you'll see the reason why. And that's the reason why, is because when I forge weld those together, I'm going to want these two to close down on each other so that they will weld then onto the blade. But first, be using some Z-Weld Plus today for flux. Right here is why I don't worry about forming that circle before the forge weld, because it's going to get all monkeyed up. We will take one more heat on that. And there we have that end welded. Now we'll work on the other end. And I'd like to point out that, as Roy from Christ Center Ironworks says, you don't need that much flux, and that's about how much flux I'm putting on to that 1/4 inch rod. Focus, there we go, focus. You can see it just doesn't take very much. And you can go wild with that borax and not spend a lot of money, but you start using some of these welding fluxes, like you do borax, you better have a deep pocketbook. And my golly, she's tacked together. And by golly, we're welded together. And we straighten those out a little bit. I think what I'll do is go ahead and make the basket right now. Now, a couple tools I'm going to be using here for my twist is my twisting wrench and my homemade, ooh, that's a Phillips, never mind. There it is. My homemade screwdriver, in case I need to pry out any of this basket. And of course, leg vise. As is with any twist, the secret is an even heat. And we're going to go clockwise here, getting that tightened up pretty good. Then I'm going to open it up and kind of shove down on it a little bit. And it looks to me like it's opening up fairly even. Go ahead and drop my wrench. I believe that's open far enough, and I don't think I'm going to have to do any tweaking, but that's what that screwdriver is for, is you can come in here and open up areas that need to be opened and such, which I don't see such. There's what we ended up with. Something I didn't mention that I should have was I wanted this opening to be on the same plane as the loop, so that when you hang it up on the wall or hang it up on a hook, the blade will be flat, if I can say it. Now, something I could have done a little while ago and didn't, but it's okay, I can do it now, is I'm going to taper these out just a little bit on the end so that they will be scarfed. There we go. Nothing else that side there is welded down, that's for sure. And I would say right offhand, looking at it, that side is welded also. And it's pretty good and straight and in the middle. That's a plus. Start back there at the handle and do the tip. Just kind of connect them together. I will take some of that bend out of there. I think that'll do. Okay. Somebody asked, how do you compete with the big factories putting out forged stuff? Well, you make something that they don't make, such as a garden trowel with a basket twist handle. Now, I don't know how much time I actually spent doing this. Of course, adding on the messing with the camera and such, it added quite a bit to it, but I'm going to guess 2 hours maybe at the most to forge that out. This one here, I could forge that out in about 30 minutes probably, because there's really nothing to it. And if you want to make stuff like this to sell and make money, then do that. Just realize that somebody could go to a garden shop and get something like that for a lot less than you could sell it for. However, there's not too many garden shops where you're going to go find something with a basket twist handle like that. So there you go. That's the difference. I use this one in my forge now to shove around coal at the hearth. And the fire's out. So it's time to go in.